This is a Willets Point Shea Stadium bound 7 express train. The next and last stop is Willets Point, Shea Stadium.
I've seen a lot of talk. I've seen the talk. Should the Mets trade Pete Alonso? My answer is no. Pete Alonso needs to be re-signed. He will become the greatest Mets hitter of all time. Definitely the greatest Mets power hitter. More than my guy Mike Piazza, more than Darryl Strawberry. He has a lot more power than David Wright. There was an interesting tweet out there from Toby Coughlin, who I follow. He follows me, and respectively, I have to disagree with his tweet, so I wanted to bring it up. He goes, let's try to remember another important element to this extend versus trade Alonso discussion. Two of the Mets core players who they re-signed and extended, Brandon Nimmo and Jeff McNeil, have both severely regressed. Not saying Alonso will be that, certainly aren't helping his case. I had to respond. Alonso is a way different talent than both Brandon Nimmo and Jeff McNeil, who throughout their career and the seasons that they have been very inconsistent. One thing that Pete is consistent: power, run production. Ever since he's came into the league, he has been consistent. It would help, though. It would help him out a lot if he had some backup besides Francisco Lindor. Brandon Nimmo, Jeff McNeil, both of them need to get back to what worked for them in the past. Look at Nimmo right now. In his last 30 days, 170 batting average, 4 home runs, 8 RBIs, and 28 strikeouts. He has been a strikeout machine. And it's because he's trying to hit more home runs. Hey, 7 out of, what was it? I think it was out of the 7 games that I've been to, he had 6 home runs in a row in those games. Every game he had a home run. It's great to see him hit for power, but he's not a power guy. He gets on base percentage, leadoff hitter, working the walks, working the count. Jeff McNeil is batting .239. This is the batting champion from last year. 2 home runs, 14 RBIs. So if we can get some help for Pete Alonso, that would be great. That's what the talk should be about. Not if we're going to trade him. I think everyone got trade happy. Everyone got trade happy once we were able to move Verlander, move Scherzer, trade David Robertson, get Escobar off the team, get Canha off the team, able to move Pham, and get Dominic Leone far away from Queens. And they got good prospects for them. So now everyone's thinking, oh, what are the prospects we can get for Pete Alonso? It's going to be big. It's going to be massive. Because why? Because he's a really good baseball player. He plays solid first base defense. He's not the best, but he's very good at first base. A couple more tweaks and the guy could possibly win a Gold Glove. And like I said, consistent every year. Home runs, run production. Read you the stat earlier. The first Met hitter in franchise history, 35 home runs in 4 different seasons. And if it wasn't for the pandemic shortened season, he'd have 5. So instead of us talking about, well, it's not me because I'm not talking about it. I'm talking about it here, and this will probably be the last time. I want the Mets to re-sign Pete Alonso. Period. He's a cornerstone of this franchise. He's a cornerstone of this team. He's a core player. And he should be re-signed. Get the deal done in the offseason. If you're not going to go after Ohtani, if you're not going to go after any big bats, give the guy the extension. And let's stop the charade of should they trade him? Should they not trade him? No, the talk should not be about them trading Pete Alonso. The talk should be about who else we could bring on to this Mets team to help back up Pete Alonso, to help back up Francisco Lindor, to help provide run production so that these two don't have to do it all by themselves. Because that's what they've been doing over the last couple of years. And you do that with a bounce back year from McNeil and Brandon Nimmo getting back to himself. And maybe Starling Marte. I don't even know. Like, Starling Marte is such an unknown right now because he's had these injuries. And he'll be another year older.